Hey guys, my name is Tamara and welcome back to my channel. Every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday I do a review called Did You See That Shit? And today is Wednesday, so you know what that means. It's all about Riverdale. So before I get into this video, I do want to apologize for last week for not uploading for Thursday and Friday. I was really just not feeling in the mood to do a video, and I want to give you guys hype and shit like that, and I just didn't feel like what I was putting out there was very bubbly and shit like that, like how I usually am. So I apologize for that, and hopefully this week goes out without a hitch. You know, I'm still feeling a little bit down a little bit, but you know, I'm gonna do these videos because I really enjoy doing them. So let's get started with this recap of Riverdale. So last week's episode of Riverdale was called Death Proof, and there's so much that happened. You know, we know that I don't want to, let's just get into the recap, y'all. So let's start with Betty. Betty is still reeling from last week of the fight she had with Veronica. Had to break up with Jughead, and she's still getting calls from the fucking Black Hood, which is weird. So in the beginning, she runs to Nick St. Clair's hotel room just to make sure that the Black Hood didn't fucking kill him, which he didn't. But Nick St. Clair talking about, oh, Veronica better be glad that I'm not pressing charges on her. Like, dude, you're the one who almost freaking raped Cheryl. Sit down and shut the fuck up. So basically, the reason why the Black Hood wanted her to even say a name was to show that she and him is the same, and basically was a test to see if she would even say a damn name. But the next task that he wants her to do is find out who the Candyman is. And you know, the Candyman is the guy who has been selling Jingle Jangle to people on the south side and the north side. So Betty is like, I don't know how to find the fucking Candyman. Like, how the fuck am I supposed to do that? But before she can even think about that, her mom calls a meeting with all the parents. So you have Sheriff McCoy, Sheriff Keller, you know, Fred up in there, Hermione and Hiram in there. We finally see Reggie's mama. Like, I was like, okay, there go Reggie mama. So they're all discussing like what happened and like what occurred with Cheryl, because Hiram and Hermione goes to Penelope Blossom and was like, look, this is what happened to your daughter. And of course, Penelope, being the bitch ass mother that she is, was like, oh, nothing really happened to her, guy. I'm like, really, Penelope? Are you fucking kidding me? So during that whole meeting with all the parents and the kids, you know, Reggie admits that he's the one who supplied the Jingle Jangle. He got it from somebody from the south side. Veronica is talking to Archie and basically is like, bruh, Betty, of course her mom thinks that she's the saint and all that shit because, you know, Betty left before all that shit occurred. Veronica's still mad at Betty. Of course, Archie is taking up for Betty, like, leave her alone. You know, she going through some things. She just broke up with Jughead. And of course, Kevin comes with the line of hashtag Buckheads no more. Of course, it's so sad. Like, but let's get into Jughead for a second. You know, at the end of last episode, him and Tony kissed. So with the kiss, a lot of people said, oh, Tony took advantage of Jughead because she kissed him in a vulnerable state and whatnot. But I'm all like, but he kissed her back. And I mean, yes, I feel like they were both in a vulnerable state because all through that episode, you could see how Tony was really feeling Jughead. I saw it. I was just like, she was always like trying to, you know, be there for Jughead. So it was just like that kissing moment. It was just like, I saw it coming only because even before Jughead and Betty broke up, I was just like, I feel that like chemistry and that little, you know, tension between Tony and Jughead like coming to a head. At the beginning of this episode, she comes in with his shirt on talking about, you hungry? And he was like, duh, I'm hungry. She's like, alright. So, you know, they went out to breakfast and she tells him like, nah, I'm not gonna be your rebound. You know, we just, you know, made out for a little while. And I'm kind of into girls more anyway. So of course Jughead's a little butthurt, but he alright because he like, you know, I still love me some Betty, so I'm not gonna, you know, do anything with you anyway. So when Cheryl and her mom is at Veronica's house and, you know, Penelope is discussing with her and Hermione about the whole situation with Nick St. Clair, Cheryl and Veronica overheard her mom talking to them, and she heard her mom basically say like nothing happened, you know, she just being dramatic. And so of course Cheryl gets upset. She like, damn, my mama don't even fucking believe me. Okay, well, whatever. So that's when Veronica admits like, hey, Nick tried that shit with me before he's tried it with you. And that's when Cheryl got upset, like, girl, then why are you just now telling me that? And on top of that, why did you tell your parents about what happened between me and Nick? Because now, you know, no one fucking believes me. Feeling so bad for Cheryl. Like, Cheryl was going through it this episode, I'm just saying. During that session, they trying to figure out about the whole jingle jangle and all that, and McCoy is like, cause you know Josie took some jingle jangle. She like, what? You took some jingle jangle knowing that your damn dad was a drug addict? McCoy was like, okay, I'm just gonna go to the south side and, you know, just arrest all the damn south side servers. So they go and raid the whole fucking school, and I'm all like, wow, it's more than one fucking police officer in Riverdale? Cause I mean, goddamn, I haven't seen that many until, like, I did see it at the end of last season when, you know, Clifford hung him fuck himself, but that's it. Like, other than that, it was never more than one fucking police officer, which is Sheriff Keller. Okay, so before they start raiding the place, of course Archie has to warn his homie Jughead, because Jughead is going to Southside right now. So he goes up there and he's like, look, you gotta get out of here because Mayor McCoy and Sheriff Keller is coming after all the Southside serpents, so you need to get out of here. Of course Jughead's like, wait, like, why are you here? You're throwing salt in the old wounds, because, you know, Archie was the one who broke up with Jughead for Betty. And then he's like, nah, we gotta get out of here. So they raid the place, but Jughead gets out on time, but he trying to save Tony, but of course Tony ain't lucky. She got caught and Jughead leaves. Jughead and Archie goes to Pops and they're like talking, and Jughead, the north side is starting a war with the south side, so we need to figure out something because this is crazy. So Jughead goes to meet up with Tallboy, and when he meets up with Tallboy, it's some other serpents plus this dude with like no shirt on. Jughead like, who the hell are you? Like, and he basically the leader of the ghoulies, and Tallboy wants to basically combine the ghoulies with the serpents. And of course Jughead is like, hell no, because that's gonna cause even worse problems with the north side if we integrate with another gang. That's just gonna make shit worse. But I feel like a lot of the Northsiders don't even know about the ghoulies, because wouldn't they have known, like, hey, okay, it's jingle jangle going around, it's two gangs over there, so why would they just assume that it's just the Southside Serpents? Wouldn't they be like, wait, it could be the ghoulies, they may work together, like something like that? But they never brought up the ghoulies, so I'm just questioning why, you know, the north side has never said anything about the ghoulies. So let's hop back to Betty for a second. So Betty goes to Cheryl to talk to her about the Candyman, because, you know, the Black Hood wants her to find who the Candyman is. So she goes to Cheryl, and Cheryl's like, yeah, of course I know who the Candyman is, because her mom used to tell her and Jason when they were kids that if they don't behave, the Candyman will come and get them. So of course Betty is like, that really does help me, but can you ask your mom, like, who's the Candyman and whatnot? And of course Cheryl's like, whatever, yeah. So Betty goes to Pops and talks to Sheriff Keller, and he's just like, the Candyman was Clifford Blossom, but it got worse once Clifford died, so I don't know who the Candyman is now. And that's when Veronica and Betty make up, because Veronica is sitting in a booth and she sees Betty, she says something, and that's when Betty goes and basically confess everything that happened, and I'm so glad that they made up. So of course Cheryl goes to ask her mom. Her mom is denying anything, like, I don't know who the Candyman is, leave me the fuck alone, you know, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And Cheryl's like, okay, whatever. Cheryl goes to Pops, is eating a burger with a fucking fork and knife. Like, I'm like baffled. So then sees Nick St. Clair, and she's like, why are you still out here? And he's like, oh, this is just for the road. And he basically tells her, because he starts saying some old whack ass shit, talking about, oh, you were drunk and you were all over me. Basically what he said to Veronica when he tried to fill her up. And so Cheryl's like, nah bruh, I'm about to sue you, so get a lawyer. But then Nick busts her bubble and is like, well, your mama took some hush money, so you can't sue shit. So then Cheryl goes home and she confronts her mom like, oh, so you took freaking money from my would-be rapist are you fucking crazy, Mom? Like, what the hell? And she's like, and of course her mom's like, give me the check. And Cheryl's like, no, not until you tell me who the Candyman is. And of course her mom's still denying, hey, I don't know who the Candyman is. And then Cheryl's like, Mom, you defended your husband who killed your own son, but you can't even sit here and defend me. Like, can you please love me? Can you please care about me? And I was just like, girl. So after Cheryl talks to her mom and basically is holding that check hostage, she calls Veronica and is like, Veronica, your parents are still doing dealings with the St. Clair. And that's when Veronica goes to her parents like, hey, y'all still doing business with the St. Clairs? That's when Veronica confessed like he tried to do the same shit to her. And her dad looked like he was about to run through that door and just like, you know, fight Nick, you know, if he could find him. Him and Hermione was like, we ain't doing no more dealings with the St. Clairs. I promise you, we're not doing nothing else with the St. Clair. So Jughead and Archie is not for the ghoulies and the serpents coming together. So they go to see FP, my homie FP. Where has he been? Oh my god. I mean, I know he's been in jail, but I'm just like, why haven't y'all been showing him? But anyway, so they go to talk to him, and their Jughead is, you know, updating him like, look, Tall Boy is trying to join with the ghoulies, and we need to not have that happen, because if the serpents join the ghoulies, it ain't gonna be no more serpents. So FP tells Jughead and Archie to challenge the ghoulies to a street race, even though that's illegal. Of course, Jughead goes to challenge the freaking ghoulies. But at the same time that was going on, Betty and Veronica was trying to, you know, find who the Candyman is. So Veronica gets the name from Reggie, which Reggie and Josie, oh my gosh, they little chemistry is so cute. But anyway, and she goes to try and get some jingle jangle from one of the ghoulies, and she's like, compliments to the Candyman, and he looked at her like, ooh, you know who the Candyman is. So he runs away, and you know, they basically find him in a lie. But they get caught, and the drug dealer comes with Betty and Veronica at the same time that Jughead and Archie is in the same spot. So at first the ghoulies was not trying to fuck with the whole racing thing, but then the stakes at first was just, if the ghoulies win, we'll, you know, integrate with no problem, we'll give you the clubhouse. But then once Betty and Veronica comes in, and you know, of course the ghoulie has to be an asshole and like, oh, these are your two bitches, and of course Veronica has to be like, I beg your misogynistic pardon. So he raised the stakes to, not only will the serpents and the ghoulies integrate, they'll get basically all of the serpents' land, okay? So that includes where Jughead lives and their little clubhouse. So the day before the race, Betty helps Jughead like basically rev up his car, and they have the conversation. Jughead basically tells her like, you told me that you will always love me, what happened? And Betty tells him like, hey, it's some shit going on, I just cannot explain it to you right now, but I will soon. You know, you said that you wasn't going to even join the serpent. So the day of the race, it's Archie and Jughead in one car, and you know, two ghoulies in the other. So so before they got in the car, Jughead goes up to Betty, and Betty's just like, hey, I love you, I don't think I'll ever stop loving you, so I'll explain everything later. So as the race begins, they're driving, and Archie is like, I ain't dying for this shit, so he pulls the brakes right before they go on the bridge. And at first, Jughead's like, why? Like, I was like, what the fuck? Like, why would you do that, Archie? Like, why? But come to find out, he called the damn police. So the police was waiting at, like, on the other side of the bridge. And so they caught the ghoulies, didn't catch Jughead and Archie. So, of course, Tall Boy is mad because he like, why would you do that? That's cheating, for one. And the ghoulies ain't gonna be very happy that you called the damn police on them. And of course, that's when Archie says, hey, I'm the one who called the police. And you know, Jughead's like, why the fuck would you do that? Because now when they get out in a couple of months, or maybe, you know, in like a month or so, they're gonna come after you. Cheryl goes home and talks to her mom, and her mom finally confessed the reason why everything went down before Jason even got killed. You know, your dad was trying to put him in the business, and before everything conspired to the murder of your brother, your dad was trying to groom him into the business, and he wanted him to meet the Candyman before, you know, all that shit happened. Cheryl's like, okay. She gave her mom the check, and thankfully Penelope, for the win, throws the check in the fire. So after Cheryl and her mom has this conversation, Cheryl still asks, like, who's the Candyman? Her mom finally tells her. So she calls Betty and is like, hey, this is the name of the Candyman. At first, Betty was like, I don't want to tell the Black Hood because then he's gonna die. He should be brought to justice, not execution. So she has to make a decision on if she's gonna tell the Black Hood or not. So she gets a call from the Black Hood, and the Black Hood's like, so did you find out who the Candyman is? And she was like, yeah, I found out who the Candyman is, but I'm not gonna tell you. You can read it in the newspaper. And I already told Sheriff Keller, so he's gonna go and get the Candyman. And of course the Black Hood was upset, like, nah bitch, that's not what you were supposed to do. You were supposed to tell me so I could execute the dumbass. That's all I wanted you to do. But of course Betty's like, nah, he needs to be brought to justice. I didn't want you to execute the man, so no. And that's when she was like, look, I caught Jason's killer, I caught the Candyman, now I'm about to catch you. So be ready, bitch. So at the end, we found out some revelations, okay? The Candyman ended up being that teacher that told Jughead not to do drugs, not to go join no gangs. English teacher, I can't remember his name right now. The second thing we find out is that we don't know if they did it, but the St. Clair's got in a damn car accident, and Nick will have 7 months to recover. And of course, you know, Veronica's just like, well, karma's a bitch, you know, like, that's what you get. And we find out that Betty told Jughead, so they're basically back together, which is great. And all's well that ends well. And also the Candyman gets killed at the end, or at least shot at. I don't know. He just was in jail, and the Black Hood showed up and was like, well, I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and follow me on all my social media links, my Twitter channel and Instagram, where I post regularly on all those good stuff. I will be talking on Twitter, so please follow me on Twitter and all that good stuff. And also subscribe to this channel where I try to post 4 days a week. So I guess I'll see you guys a little bit later. Bye.